Welcome back to BrakeFade. Today we have a very sentimental value sort of car that means a lot to you, Jack. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, indeed. This is my 1990 Cadillac Coupe DeVille. It was my grandfather's. After he passed away, I've been taking care of it, and it is one of my favorite cars. I consider it my personal ride. I've tried to keep it as original as possible.
You've done a great job with that too.
Thank you. Minus a few little tweaks here and there. One of the things I'll show you, of course, is the 4.5 liter engine underneath the hood. It's mounted transverse, and it's an upgrade from the 4.1, which had a ton of strange issues with metals that turned into a solid block because of aluminum and iron, I believe.
And V8 in a front-wheel drive car is such a rarity anyway. There's only like a handful of cars that I know of that had a V8 in transverse, and one of them being the Monte Carlo SS, which came out a few years later.
Oh yeah, and while it's not as fun as a rear-wheel drive, it's very stable, I'd say, and this engine is pretty reliable. Honestly, the main concern with it, for what I've heard on forums and my research, is the water pump. I went ahead and did that, got it replaced around 100,000 miles. I'm at 110. I don't really put many miles on the car, but that's honestly the main issue I've heard with this engine. So there should be, I mean, plenty more miles left in it, and the transmission's been solid as well.
And as far as the way it feels like on the highway, higher mileage, how stable does that engine feel to you?
Very stable. I mean, honestly, everything about the car, like for instance, the air suspension actually went out in the rear, and that's a very expensive thing to fix, so I went ahead and got it just converted to a normal springs. Wasn't too expensive, and I really can't tell a big difference, although this is a very heavy car, and as regards to the engine and the transmission performance, I mean, obviously I didn't buy it when it was new, but it shifts, it drives just fine. It's got a lot of get up and go, so yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, Cadillacs are definitely known for sticking a more powerful engine in a car that it necessarily needs, which is definitely something you see here. Something else they're known for sure is bespoke parts. Something they make just for Cadillac, and maybe they'll make their way into a Chevy one day, but most likely not. So how bad has part selection been for this?
Parts are a little tricky. These cars are not as popular as like the 70s. The 80s are kind of a weird thing as well. The one thing is, like, I had to get a PCV valve. Well, I didn't have to, I'm wanting to, and that's about 20 bucks compared to $6 for most PCV valves. And you know, a lot of the parts I've had to replace, such as the water pump, the alternator, those haven't been an issue, but some of the more rare pieces, such as trim, like these plastic pieces right here, if you want to come over here, these, we actually took them all off because they were all rattling to death. I actually realized they were about to fall off when I took it to a mechanic. He comes back and I asked, hey, where's the panel? He had no idea where it went because it flew off. So we took all these off, reinforced them with JB Weld, and I'm glad that we were able to find a rear quarter panel right here, because these are exceptionally rare on eBay, and that's kind of the trickiest part. Like an antenna I had, I couldn't find one of those because I went through a car wash, didn't think about it, it snapped off, I fixed it, but a lot of those extra trim pieces are really hard to find, so mechanically seems pretty easy to maintain, but as far as cosmetically, a whole different story. Here, let me show you something that I really like. You know, it's a Cadillac, so what you want to do first of all, right here, you don't have a little keyhole behind the Cadillac logo.
That's great.
Open that up. There's a power supply in there, and trying to keep it a little, you know, add my own little flavor, but keeping it, you know, stock. I've got this bazooka tube, easy to remove, and we got a full-size spare underneath there. But here's something cool. Aside from being able to fit several bodies back here, you can soft close.
And that's something you still don't find in cars today.
No.
And it's just like, to be able to find a car this old that has fun little features like that, that you just would not be able to find today. I mean, why would you buy something more new?
Oh yeah, these are super comfortable. And honestly, I look on Facebook Marketplace, you can get decent ones around 150, 200,000 miles for, I'd say, let's see, 1,500 to about 5 grand. They go up to 20 grand though. I've seen a couple of rare, exceptional models. Not that I'd pay that, but you can find these pretty well. Not necessarily in the coupe version. There's a lot of sedans over the coupes.
And so these white pieces back here on the soft top, do those actually light up?
So these used to. I believe it's some sort of weird flat light. I have not been able to find a replacement for these, but yes, they used to light up.
Interesting.
I don't know what happened. There's a few weird electrical quirks. So for instance, when I park the car and open the door, everything's still on. I close it and then I open it again, it shuts everything off. Definitely strange, but it's a 30-year-old car.
Well, I say we take this thing for a drive, see how it rides.
Let's take a ride. When's the last time you drove this thing?
I think I drove it one time, so I'm excited about it. I do recall loving it.
It's got my favorite shifter of all, a column shifter.
So it has a pedal foot brake?
It just comes off automatically. Shift into, put in hold of the brake and shift into drive.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
This is something I wish more cars would do. It automatically undoes the parking brake.
Where's the, oh, wow. That's, if I turn the steering wheel around, I can see the gauge shift. But if it's sideways, I cannot see what gear I'm in.
Yeah, it's got a very driver-oriented cockpit. But the main thing I've really done in here is just replace the radio, which is funny. My grandfather already replaced it with a Pioneer unit, so I didn't even have the original one when I replaced it with this one.
I don't think my door's shut all the way.
Yeah, they're a bit heavy. You'll have to unlock it. As you may notice, if Jesse can get this, you've got these giant handles on the door.
I love that.
Right here, because it's very hefty.
There's something about these old cars that we will never be able to get again that just takes time, and that's the smell. Mm-hmm. Like I have my 1985 Monte Carlo SS, which will show on the channel at some point, and it has a very similar sort of that late 80s, 90s GM plastic smell, and it's almost nostalgic at this point that I kind of almost desire it.
Oh yeah. Also, this has a bench seat, which put a third person up here.
That's awesome.
I just dumped a bunch of change in there.
Something incredible too is like some of these bumps we're hitting, it just floats over. Like the suspension is so luxury tuned that it's not trying to be a sport suspension or anything like that. You're just cruising along and it's like you're riding on a cloud.
Oh yeah, it's very spongy, especially at speed, but it's not my shocks are bad, because if you've ridden one, it's
I've ridden in cars.
Similar feeling, but it weighs way more.
Oh yeah, I've ridden in cars with bad shocks, and it is a totally different feeling than this.
One thing also neat is, if Jesse, you want to get this, you have an ashtray right here, and you can light up your cigarette. You've also got ashtrays in the back, which is a fun little homage back to a time when car makers were accommodating for people to smoke in their cars.
Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to get that sound on camera, but that ting of the blinker, it's so much better than most modern cars. Most modern cars, it's like the blinker's on and they got to be like, tack, 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 tack. That's just like a little, it's like, hey, blinker's on, don't worry. You're letting people know. Well, it's either, it doesn't have to freak you out.
It's either too loud or too quiet.
Yeah.
Is the problem. But you should give it a little gas once we straighten out on the road.
All right, let's take a look here.
Oh, I completely forgot, Micah. In the bottom left corner, there's a little lever. Just reach your hand underneath the dash, under the dash, you'll find a lever down there.
Down here?
Yeah, push it forward.
Ah, your cutoff valve.
Yeah, cutoff valve is a fantastic addition to any vehicle because it allows you to keep the stock sound, but then give a little gas and you've got a completely different vehicle.
I will say, for a 1990 Cadillac, this thing has a pull.
Oh yeah.
It's very impressive.
It's only about 190 horsepower. But
the torque must be way more than that, though.
I think it's like 210, I believe.
Okay, so not too much.
It's not a huge amount, but it's surprising for what it is.
It is very surprising for what it is.
Well, there's no passenger airbag on this, but something it does have is Twilight Sentinel, which is kind of surprising for 1990. Which, if you don't know what that is, that's auto headlights.
And also, where is the sensor for that? Have you been able to find it?
I haven't been able to find it. And I honestly don't use it that much, although I don't really drive at night in a lot in this car.
Is this mirror stock? Because it's auto dimming.
Yes, that's stock.
An auto dimming mirror stock in 1990.
Yes, it's also got on the dash, or not the dash, the hood, you'll notice there's kind of like some ridges near the edges, and those actually light up when you're driving at night. So if you have your lights on, it's a yellow light. If you turn your blinker on, one of them will flash. And if you put your high beams on, there's green lights on the dash or the hood itself. So in case you didn't want to look at your dash, you can tell on the hood what you're doing.
That is cool.
There's also some little lights all the way back there that they'll turn on when it shows you you're putting on your center brake light, and they'll also show which blinker. I mean, it's completely
pointless stuff, you could say.
Yeah.
But it's just little charms that add to it all.
Well, I will say I've got an auto dimming mirror in my truck, and that's still a paid upgrade. Like these are things that, you know, we're now what, 36 years later?
Yes, 36 years later.
36 years later, and we're still paying extra money to put these in as features. And you could probably go out and get a vehicle like this in this condition for what, $7,000, $8,000? I don't know if you've looked into that.
Oh, easy. 2 to 4, I'd say.
Really?
But keep in mind, though, the coupes are a lot rarer than the sedans. You're going to find a lot more sedans, and you kind of got to be careful because around the later 90s, I'd say 1995 beyond, they switched to the North Star engine, which is, it's a decent engine if you fix the head gaskets, which is a very expensive repair.
Ah, okay.
If you don't fix it, then you're kind of a ticking time bomb. But if you get the ones with the 4.5 or the 4.9, which is the upgraded version of this engine, I mean, I've heard great things about those engines. I honestly think they're pretty bulletproof.
Moving back to the interior, one of the things that's kind of sticking out to me immediately when I started driving the car is, one, the steering is very smooth, but two, the steering wheel is kind of special. It's got a lot of grip. The grooves behind the steering wheel makes it to where, you know, you can grab it with one hand and cruise on the highway without any problem.
It's like an old-timey one just because of how large it is.
Yeah.
And I honestly prefer steering wheels that don't have a crap load of buttons on them. You know? It's a nice callback to a time where you didn't have. What is happening on your phone?
I am getting a lot of text messages right now.
You're getting a ton of text messages.
But it is one button.
Yep.
Honk.
Honk it.
This sounds like a train horn.
It is. Completely unique.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. But coming back to the interior as well, the seats are like a couch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you would expect that out of something like a 90s Cadillac, but I mean, this one, they feel so comfortable. I would almost want to take these seats out and put them in my living room.
Well, that's the one thing I'll agree with Tyler Hoovey from Hoovey's Garage, is that the American luxury car went wrong when they got away from a living room, basically, on wheels.
You look at like modern Lincolns and stuff, they have like 20 different pieces that hang off the seat, and it's trying to like fit into this crevice and that crevice, and it's like,
it's way too
stop
sporty.
invading my privacy with these parts on the seat. Just give me one couch.
It's way too much stuff, and it's also way too sporty, because for me, Europeans are, you know, it's a nice driving vehicle. The Japanese, it's still a nice vehicle, but definitely a little more utilitarian.
Especially in the 90s.
Yeah, especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
American, it's a big engine, it's a big interior, it's a big car. It's not supposed to be fast, but it's supposed to sound good and ride good.
This is near the end of the land yachts.
Yes.
The last, what I would call probably the last American land yacht would be the Crown Victoria. Those cars are the last ones that were V8 up front, you had rear wheel drive, but then a giant couch in the front.
Yeah, Panther platform lasted way longer than I think, 2011, which is, not to make you feel old, that's about, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's surprising of a run of how long those lasted. And I really, again, I kind of would have been cooler if this was a rear wheel drive, but it is sort of neat. Transverse engine, it's front wheel drive, 190 horsepower, and it surprisingly has a lot of get up and go. I actually used to take this down to the beach a while. And my grandfather, he would drive it everywhere. Like, he bought it new, and he never upgraded. This was his car. And honestly, aside from a few weird air conditioning issues, I think that's the main problem that it's had.
Yeah. Well, and speaking about the rear wheel drive stuff, the fact that this is a luxury car and everything, it would almost be a shame to try to utilize that rear wheel drive anyway, because you're going to be, you'd be beating that car up if you were trying to use that rear wheel drive for what it's fun for.
Oh, yeah.
And so the fact that it is front wheel drive, I personally don't see it as too much of a loss.
Oh, yeah.
So this thing drives great as usual. I've tried to keep it as stock as possible while any tweaks I do are unobtrusive. It was my grandfather's car, and it'll always be my grandfather's car. It was garage kept, which is why the vinyl top, for instance, is in great condition, and I want to keep it in great condition for many years to come. Though I might want to get another Cadillac like this for myself and, kind of do my own style.
Oh yeah, you don't want to do too much to this car due to its sentimental value, for sure.
Yeah, it's got a lot of history, and it's a fantastic car. And so I'm glad I got to take you on it. And we're really excited for some other cars that we want to show off on BrakeFade. It's a really exciting channel.
For sure. We're loving this new channel. We hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned to BrakeFade for more great content, and check out No Plan if you're into technology content.
We'll see you on the next video.